here in Bethesda, and we also have Congressman Andy Harris. So welcome. So we're going to go around, but we wanted to kind of kick off with a few words from the co-chair of the Trump campaign here in Maryland, Congressman Andy Harris. And thank you for taking some time away from your rather busy schedule and sharing the status of the campaign with us.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, and thank you for inviting me. It's a privilege to be the co-chair of the campaign for President Trump in Maryland. Look, it's been an exciting week. I think that what people saw in the debate Monday was that if you want a fighter, if you want someone who's going to fight for the American people, then this is a very clear choice. It's not Sleepy Joe Biden, who finally made it out of his basement. It's Donald Trump, who's been going around the country fighting for Americans, fighting China for the past few years and bringing jobs back to the United States. And the only person who can really get us out of through the COVID recovery with the jobs and the economic growth that we're going to need to get out of it. So I'm excited. The president, obviously, for the next 30 days is going to be all over the country. He's going to be, again, reminding Americans that if jobs in the economy is what you're going to vote for, you're going to vote for him. If law and order is what you're going to vote for, there's a clear choice here. It's not someone who's going to defund the police, but someone who's going to stand up for our law enforcement officers and give them the tools that they need to keep law and order in the United States. With regards to, the coronavirus, look, this is not, it was crazy that Joe Biden somehow blamed Donald Trump for the coronavirus. This coronavirus came out of China. It came out of a lab run by the military. And, China set this upon the world. Donald Trump did, I think, a great job making sure that we get vaccines and therapeutics as fast as we can to the American public. And then once we take care of the American public, we're going to send those vaccines and therapeutics to the rest of the world to take care of the rest of the world. He's been a tremendous leader cutting through the red tape that usually the federal government, the incredible amount of red tape. And I know as a doctor, there's an incredible amount of red tape getting any new therapy or vaccine to market. And they're not cutting safety corners. They're not cutting other corners, but they're cutting through the unnecessary red tape that existed in the federal government. So, and we won't even get to the fact that, he's been nominated now 3 times for a Nobel Peace Prize, something that he really deserved, not like Barack Obama, who got it before he even became president and didn't do anything to deserve it, made the world a much more dangerous place. With President Trump, who through his Mideast policy of standing up to the terrorists in the Middle East, standing up to Hamas, again, to the Palestinian terrorists, and helping Israel and being a good ally of Israel is actually looks like we're going to have something that many of us thought might never occur, which is actually peace in the Middle East for a while. So this president on all the fronts has done everything he needs. Look, obviously the liberal media is 99% against President Trump. They're obviously an arm of the Democrat Party. We have to battle that. And the only way we battle is we talk about the president, about his accomplishments. We have to do the job that the media is not willing to do, where the media and still says that this is Barack Obama, Barack Obama's economic expansion is what we had before COVID. That's nonsense. It was the president lowering taxes, cutting regulation, doing what he knew it took to get Americans back to work, the lowest unemployment for Blacks and Hispanics ever in history. And what we're going to see, and my prediction is we're going to see a record number of African Americans voting for the Republican for president this year, because they realized that the economy was very good for them and that we need to get that economy back as soon as possible. So I'm excited going forward. We have great candidates in the House. We have the people who we need to take back the House. We have great candidates. We have 94 women running in congressional seats as Republicans. That's almost twice as much as we've ever had. We have 107 veterans. We have 75 minorities who are running. And so when the Democrats say, this is the party that doesn't care for women, doesn't care for minorities, nonsense. Why do we have so many running as congressional candidates throughout the country then? Right here in Maryland, we have Kim Klacik, a Black woman, Republican, running in Baltimore City, willing to say the emperor has no clothes in Baltimore City, that in fact it's failed Democrat liberal leadership in Baltimore City that is resulting now in over 300 murders a year, dozens of shootings every week in Baltimore City, abject poverty. Again, this is not this is our congressional candidate in Baltimore City, speaking like that. That's very powerful, and that's happening literally throughout the country. Where we have women, we have minorities, we have veterans, we have great candidates for Congress. So I'm excited about the prospects. We obviously, look, we need the presidency, but and one of the things that Americans realize now is why the presidency is so important, because I'm convinced that by Election Day, we will have another Supreme Court justice approved for the Supreme Court. And that 6-3 conservative majority is a generational majority. It will last way longer than President Trump's second term, is his legacy on the Supreme Court, with superb intellects who he's appointing to the court, including this last nominee, Amy Barrett. I feel sorry for her, because the onslaught against her in the next 3 weeks is unbelievably nasty, starting with criticism of her actually adopting Haitian children. I mean, you talk about the Democrats sinking to a new low to literally criticize someone for adopting Haitian children. It's just unbelievable. And I think, once again, Democrats overplay their hand. They did it with Kavanaugh. They're going to do it with Amy Barrett. And I think Americans are going to look at it and say, that's not the kind of leadership, Democrat leadership is not what we're going to look for in this country. So I'm excited. Again, if I don't know if anyone has some questions, if you're set up for it, I'm more than happy to answer some. We're going to have to go over and vote in a short time over on the floor. Speaker Pelosi's putting a $2.2 trillion wish list bill, liberal Democrat wish list bill on the floor, because she just basically was unwilling to negotiate in good faith with the White House and the Senate. So it's unfortunate, because she's holding American businesses hostage as we go into the election. With that, again, whoever's moderating, if the opportunity exists for questions, I'm more than happy to answer a few.
Yeah, Marcus, you have people in the room. Yep, there you go.
Go ahead. Jackie, do you have questions?
I didn't see any comment online, but Congressman Harris, I'd love to know your take. I know a lot of what's going on in the news today is what's going on with the next stimulus package. What's your take on whether or not they're going to come to an agreement or not?
Well, the news is that they haven't come to an agreement, because I think, I think Speaker Pelosi's not negotiating in good faith. I think the Senate package, which was under $1 trillion, and that's a lot of money. To put it in perspective, the package that we're about to go to the floor and vote on is $2.2 trillion, which is 1.5 times the entire amount we spend in a year on discretionary spending. It's literally more in one package, not small, but one package, than we spend on what we call discretionary spending in the federal government for the entire year. Now, the Senate package, which was $650 billion, which is a lot of money, to put in perspective, it's, over 10 Maryland budgets. I mean, the entire budget for the state of Maryland is like 10 of them. I think that's the amount that we need. We do need to send more protection to small businesses. We do need to extend unemployment benefits, but not at the $600 a week federal supplement. The Senate bill had $300 a week, which I think is a reasonable federal supplement. That brings a lot of people, certainly at the lowest end, that means that you'd be getting paid about 100% of what you got paid when you were employed. But it just would attract more people back into the workplace. It was a good bill. I would hope that at some point Speaker Pelosi comes to her senses and says, we're not going to hold people hostage till after the election. Let's agree to the Senate bill, because if that Senate bill came over, it could be done by what we call unanimous consent in both houses. I mean, we know the American people need some help, but they don't need to go bankrupt with the $2.2 trillion Democrat wish list, which actually the majority leader just gave a great speech on the floor, Mr. McCarthy, calling it, the Mike Bloomberg cannabis, defund the cops bill, because it would provide $160 million tax relief to Mike Bloomberg. It mentions cannabis 68 times, much more times than it mentions the word jobs. And it basically cuts $600 million from police funding from the last bill the Democrats put forward. So it's just not a legitimate bill.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate, Congressman, you being able to join us. I know you got to go vote.
All right.
We're now gonna.
Hold on. It's really
Okay. Hold on. Yeah. You were going to do. We're now going to turn over to Nicolay, and Nicolay has, I guess, a presentation to do. Nicolay.
Oh, hold on. I need the congressman's help here. Congressman Harris, thank you so much for being our state co-chair. I have with me on my phone here, conferenced in, Ruth Melson, who just happens to be our top volunteer in the entire state of Maryland. We've been talking about Trump talk. We were just in Pennsylvania this weekend, which I'll talk more about in a little bit. But Ruth Melson alone has made over 8,000 phone calls using Trump talk. She is by far our top volunteer, our top person for voter contacts in the state of Maryland. And we wanted to thank Ruth. So I wanted to keep you on the line to help me thank her, Congressman. We're thanking Ruth in two ways. One, she already got something in the mail from our RNC chairman, Ronna McDaniel. And number two, just 2 hours before this call, I got, and Ruth, I know you can't see because you're on my phone here, but I'm going to hold it up for everyone to see. I got a signed Donald J. Trump hat in the mail, original signature, directly from President Trump to go to Ruth. So Ruth, that is why I have been asking for what is your best mailing address? So what I'd like to do if we could put Congressman Harris's picture in the main frame, Jackie, if you can help me get him there. And I'd like, because the state party wants to, also publicly thank Ruth, if you don't mind, Ruth. So I am literally going to sit here and also take a picture of everyone smiling and giving a thumbs up for Ruth, because we need to thank our best volunteer in the whole state. Jackie, is it possible to get Congressman Harris's picture kind of is on the center screen?
If you're taking the picture, change your view, speaker view, and then you go to Congressman Harris's box, click the three dots and pin his video. You should be able to do just that.
Great, I'm doing that right now. Okay, so everyone, I'm taking a picture of everyone with the hat in the screen. Smile, thumbs up, everyone. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right, Ruth, we're gonna brag about you all over social media. I hope you don't mind.
Thank you very much for doing that.
Yay.
Well, just wanted to thank you because we've been wanting to. Please go ahead, say a few words.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you so much. I'm really, really thrilled, and I really enjoy doing the calls, and it's great fun, and I'm glad making a difference.
You sure are. You sure are. So, I know the congressman has to go vote. Andy, thank you so much for doing this call with us and joining with us to thank Ruth.
My pleasure. And congratulations, Ruth. Thanks.
Thank you.
Everyone is clapping for you, Ruth. I know you can't see, but all the screens and all the people, a few people are live, everyone's clapping for you. So thank you.
Probably making phone calls while we're talking, right? I'll go back and watch it. Thank you very much.
Now,
go ahead, Ruth.
what did he say? I was going to say, did a picture of all of you guys?
I will. I'm going to put it on Facebook and tag you, and then I'll send you the picture as well.
Terrific. I would love to see that. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. And Ruth, we need your secret. We might need to have you host a special. Dwight and Marcus and Mark, maybe I can work with you to host a special call. We might need to have someone help Ruth get online properly because she's been having some Comcast issues. But I think it would be great if we almost did a little seminar in the next week with Ruth explaining how easy Trump Talk is, because we have trained over 1,000 people in the state, but we just need to get our participation rates up higher. And it's a great system. Ruth and I were just talking about it a few hours ago. It's a very easy system to use. Obviously, we've got a great get out the vote system. The Democrats are not running a campaign, but we have to wow and dazzle people with our hard work and reaching out to them personally to show them how awesome Republicans are, like Ruth, there to represent our president and get him reelected.
Wow, that's one of how many volunteers do you have? Do you know?
We have trained over 1,000 people on Trump Talk here in the state of Maryland.
Okay, over 1,000.
Over 1,000.
Right.
And a lot of people just aren't following through and making those dials. So in this last month here, we really need to get people signed up. So if you don't mind, I will connect you with email with Mark. Do you want to kind of lead getting that scheduled? Maybe Mark and Jason.
We'll get something scheduled for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we'll put out an email to these 1,000 people, and they'll get to hear from you, our fantastic caller, Ruth, on how to get this arranged. If you don't mind, I just also want to share with everyone, we are moving fully into getting out the vote, both in Maryland and also to help with Pennsylvania, just to our north. We had a deployment weekend this past weekend. I was a little worried about our numbers because we did not have much time. We didn't have many. We got our information for where we were going to go very late, shall we say. But we did have 20 folks volunteer over the course of the weekend. We made over 8,000 voter contacts. We were in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, which is just north of Garrett County, Maryland. It is Trump County, but the trick is just getting out the vote. Pennsylvania, I've been very concerned about their Supreme Court ruling, obviously, in the state. Let's just say our Republican legislators up there seem to have been a little had because they still have their regular absentee voting, which is nearly identical to this mail-in ballot request thing. So two different forms, similar function, but as we know, the state Supreme Court said they'll extend getting them first till at least the Friday after the election. But the good news for us going up and helping out in Pennsylvania is there aren't so many games to play with in-person early voting. They don't have it. So any efforts we make to go up there and knock doors to still get voters registered is going to make a lot of difference. So please, if you can join us or make phone calls, we would love to have you, or please send your folks who are interested into that in that our way. Hopefully you all got a Super Saturday email from me this afternoon. Every Saturday from now to election, we are busy. We have a place to go. This Saturday, we are going to go to Anne Arundel County to hopefully get some great Republicans like Corinne Frank and Mr. Silkworth in office there. Then after that, we're heading up to Cecil County to get our lovely Danielle Hornberger elected Cecil County executive. Then we are also going to Wicomico County to retain control of GOP control of that county council. And then we're down to Southern Maryland to work on several races down there, including the congressional race, before we end the 72 hours before the election up in Pennsylvania to do everything we can to make that critical state go for President Trump. So anything you can do to either make phone calls or send people our way, join us. For Pennsylvania, they were great hosts, took care, fed us very well. Everyone was lovely, and we stayed in a quite lovely hotel. So you will get A-class treatment and people being kind and lovely to you if you can join us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicola.
Thank you, Secretary Unkerfer.
So speaking of Anne Arundel County, we have tapping in from Anne Arundel, Jason Trott. Can you tell us what's going on in your county?
Yeah, Mark. So we got a
state?
lot. We got a lot of fun, different stuff going on in Anne Arundel County. On Tuesday night, we hosted our first of hopefully 3 or maybe 4. I don't know if we're going to do the vice presidential debate, but we hosted our first presidential debate watch party in Glory Days in Edgewater. We filled the room. due to COVID restrictions, because of our crazy county executive, we filled the room to have the exact right amount of people. Everybody wore their masks and followed the rules. And the Central Committee was able to raise a little bit of money, and everybody got to come out and hang out with their Republican friends and watch the debate and cheer on President Trump. We also, as Nicolai touched on, we have our Super Saturday this weekend. We're going to go out and knock some doors. And actually, right now, I got my phone going off, and we have volunteers in our Trump offices stuffing the door hangers with the Trump top 10 and literature for Charles Anthony running for Congress in Maryland's 3rd District, and Corinne Frank and Mr. Silkworth running for Board of Ed out there. Other than that, we've opened this week our 3 Trump offices we have in Anne Arundel County. Since we're a big county, we gotta spread the love. So we have one up in Annapolis, way up there in Glen Burnie, and then one in Pasadena. So we got people coming in and out, getting signs, signing up for Trump Talk. A few people door knocking. There's a lot of excitement going on.
Thank you very much. And let me just roll back to you, Jackie.
Yep. Hi, everybody. It's your friendly executive director of the Montgomery County GOP Club. I wanted to share in my never-ending quest to rank up titles here, my 2 other projects that I'm working on that I'm looking to find some people who want to get involved, who want to be leaders, because after this election is over, hopefully with the victory, we're going to all want to find other things to get involved in to keep the momentum going. The first one is the Maryland Republican Jewish Club. This is going to be a first of its kind club. There are a lot of coalitions out there, but not really anything similar to almost like MFRW or anything like that for Jewish Republicans in the state of Maryland, or even across the country. So I'm looking at getting that started. This is ground up, we got to write bylaws and everything. So if you have any interest, if you're Jewish or love Jewish people or love bagels and want to get involved and take on a leadership position, please, please, please reach out to me, because we want to get this thing up and going. The other thing I'm working on is a new chapter for the Maryland Federation of Republican Women. It is called the Rock Creek Republican Women. It's open to any ladies in the state of Maryland. We're primarily looking for women under the age of 40. It's almost like a female-only side branch of the YRs, because there's a lot of clubs in MFRW, but not too many that are geared towards people a little bit younger. So we're looking to get us all together and get everyone out there and social and meeting fellow Republicans that they can go out and be friends with. Getting involved in the GOP since I moved to Maryland has been a lifesaver for my social life. All my friends stayed in the city. I moved out to Rockville into the suburbs. So I know that it's really, really amazing to get involved. If you know somebody who wants to get involved, please have them reach out to me. If not, for one of those 2 groups that want to be leaders, or just to help them find a place within the GOP, because we are a big tent party. We want everyone to feel welcome and to find the kind of social life and the love that I've found with you guys. So that's what I was here to plug. And thank you all for watching.
Thank you very much. And now we're going to have a presentation, a raffle. We've got Dwight Patel here. We've got a lovely Trump 20. Gonna come over here.
We got a lovely Trump 2020 flag. I guess I'll use that. If this works. We've got a lovely Trump 2020 flag, a red one and a blue one for the 1,000th person that likes our Facebook page. You have to be number 1,000, and we'll send this to you, as well as you get 2 Trump 2020 flags. You'll get some pins and a bunch of other Trump swag, but you got to be number 1,000. There's 15 people left to sign, go and smash the like button on our Facebook page. And number 1,000 will get one of these flags. And don't worry, if you're number 999, you'll get something too. Everyone wins a prize.
We don't want people hanging out to the last minute to be 1,000.
1,000. Smash that like button. Well, and one last thing. Every Wednesday we do a show called Direct Line Live. Last Wednesday we did one. Check it out. It's on YouTube Live. We did a recap of the presidential debates. Wonderful stuff. Next week we've got some great guests coming up on our show. And have a nice evening, everyone. And don't forget to vote.
Especially that part. Go ahead and vote. Well, thank you very much. I think that brings everything to conclusion, but be sure and share this when we get the video up. And make sure people in Montgomery and around Maryland know that it's good to be for Trump. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. I will post our group thumbs up photo to Facebook and Instagram right now.